Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Stephen Cartwright Show. And I just wanted to come on and make this video tonight. And the topic of this video tonight is going to be teaching boys while they're young. You know, we want to start teaching our young men, you know, about life while they're young. And, I would like to add, often to it. Uh, while our boys are young and they're growing, one thing I want to tell a lot of men, you know, in order to get a lot of the best results out of your, especially boys, kids, I can even be including girls too. You can do this to girls too. Is you have to be able to think like them in order to get the best results out of them. To think like them, to be able to, you know, see the world in their eyes. And you have to be able to manipulate them into going the right way with you. It's just like getting them to walk, you know. Because a lot of us, we forget when we become adults, is we were once children and we forget to think like children, to think like kids. And, some of us, we had to be punished in order to, get ourselves in line. Let's get into it. Uh, we have to learn how, we have to start teaching our young men. And this video is for 18 to, to 18 and up, everybody. We have to start teaching young men, young boys about consequences. You know, we just walk through, let them drive, let them walk. We don't really and truly get down with it and teach them about consequences. You know, we're gonna use this over fighting over girls. Getting involved into fights. You know, we don't really go into high detail with them about teaching them about the law. You know, we don't teach these young people about this, these young boys about this here. We have to start teaching these young men the ins and outs of life. That's why I say it is so important that men start fighting for custody of their sons by age 4. And should be letting their mothers know, we should start putting up more of a fight over our boys. We have to start teaching them consequences, and we need to have our sons with us in order to teach them consequences. To stop all this crazy mayhem that be going on. You know, things such as like fighting over girls. No, that's a no-no. You don't for young to do that. Saying no to them. You know, teaching them about if they get a girl pregnant, what does that stuff mean? You're not going to be able to tell them a lot of things that they're not going to be able to do. They're not thinking about your education. The only thing they're thinking about is you. Only thing they're thinking about is you making that money for them. They don't care nothing about your future and what you're doing and what you're trying to do with your life. You become a cash machine. And you can become a slave for somebody else. You paying somebody else's bills. They try to make it all and let these boys know that they're going to try to make it all about that child. It ain't about that child. You in servitude to somebody else. Under the threat of jail, imprisonment, humiliation, even all the way up to death. And us as men, we have to start teaching our sons the ins and outs. It's just like we have to start fighting for custody over them. Teaching them about why they're young and they're coming up. And especially if they are in their teens, their early teens, preteens, before they, while they're small. Start teaching them about the vicious cycle, the consequences about life. That just say it's like having a child too soon. It's going to cost you for the first quarter of your life. You have to think about this here. If you go out here and you get a young lady pregnant at age 18, you're not going to be done paying child support or whatever the case may be, especially with these modernized women, until you're 36 years old. And the more you work and the more money you making, the more that she's going to be able to take you back and forth to court. Every time you get a raise, she's going to want more money. She's going to keep the law in your life. We must start teaching our young men this. This is something we must do. Here's what it is. The next thing as men, we have to start pushing our young men that it is finishing high school is vital. Finishing high school is very, very vital. We have to start teaching them this here. The rate of young black boys, African American boys, dropout rate is ridiculously horrendous. The dropout rate for young African American boys is 52%. 52% of our sons drop out of school. At girls, 41%. They're not too far behind. But we need to stop us as men, and we need to close this gap. And we already know where a lot of that is coming from. It is coming from single parent, mother-led households, matriarchal households. We know where a lot of that's coming from. Because I know one thing, when I went to school, my dad was like, you going to school, partner. Now you going to go, you going to finish, and you going to be quiet, you going to do right. And that's the thing. We have to teach our kids about having manners in school. Staying away from the wrong crowds. Just think about that, gentlemen. 52% of our kids, our sons, drop out of school. 41% of the girls drop out. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know where a lot of these women be coming up with like everything is just all golden chick for them. No, y'all ain't in such a bad, ain't in the best position either. With these girls. We have to start teaching our sons. When I'm with the men, we have to start teaching our sons how important it is to complete high school in order so we can keep other doors open, other avenues that they will have the opportunity to be able to explore later in life. We have to start using this stuff. And then we teach them, it teaches them, you're not a quitter. Those kids want to win all their life. Completing high school is important. We need to teach these boys this and use the remedies of not allowing them to get burned out while they're busy doing it. Staying out of trouble. We have to have that blend. And as they grow into young men, making them savvy. They be savvy. They know how to say no. Understand this. The next part of this video is going to be for older men. things that we have to do. You know, as older men and as fathers, we have to teach our sons patience and to be more productive. At the same time, we have to teach them patience as they go through school and as they progress. And at the same time, teach them how to be more productive and more precise in the decisions that they make. We the ones that's got the gusto for this stuff. We can have a fine group of young men, but the men have to be involved. Teach the young men how to be more smarter about the decisions they make. Teach them to be a whole lot more smarter about the decisions that they make in this life, because the wrong decision can cost you. This is something that the gifts that we need to be giving our young men. Teaching them these things. Teaching our young men how to say no, especially to girls. Teach them how to say no. You know, No, they might want to, and all at the same time, if they do, teach them how to protect themselves. You know, because we know how girls is. Can't leave them out of the equation. We have to teach them better. And it's time that we get our boys back with us. Hopefully, we start fighting for them. We get them in the house with us by age 4. And we start teaching our children, teaching our boys as they go. We need to start teaching them about authoritarian engagements, so they don't be shot dead in the streets. And men are the undisputed authority on teaching our young men on authoritarian engagements. We are the undisputed authority. Because women, they don't know what they're doing. You see how they is? They teach these boys to be in their feelings, and a lot of these cops, and a lot of these, they're not hearing that. Teach these boys how to use their minds instead of their feelings. That was the time I was with, make him feel some kind of way. No. Because they don't understand an emotional man or young boy is a dangerous one, an overly emotional one. And as leaders of the community, older men, we have to think about, we got to do this. We have to think about the way we vote, fellas. We just can't always just follow these women and be mean mugged into voting for people that don't have our best interests at heart. Something that those women want, that don't mean that that's good for us. That don't mean that's good for our community. That's why I say all the time, men need to vote their interests. We vote our interests, it's for the best interests of it. We vote our interests, not what they want. We vote what we want. If they ain't gonna go one way, so be it. But we gonna vote for us. We have to learn this as men, to teach our sons to think for yourselves. We have to do these type of things. We have to understand this type of stuff need to be done. We got to start voting our best interest, doing what's in the best interest of us. And always stop being the baby duck. You know, voting our best interests. And we have to start pushing. Time for us to start doing it, gentlemen. We have to start pushing for custody for our sons. Because we are the ones that can give them what they need. And we already know we're going to outdo these women. We'll outdo them. We will outdo them hands down, and us as men, we all know it. They need to unask these boys. We love our daughters, but that's your bag. Look what they doing down there in New Orleans, Baton Rouge. They had to call a whole police department down there. All them kids down there fighting, them two girls, they got this beat. They want to beat each other up. Boys wasn't doing that. These were girls. This is something that we must understand. Us as men, we need to understand this. We must understand this. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, we have to start pushing for custody for our sons in the courts. We need, a lot of you men, when you go to these child support hearings and you know you got a son there, they need to blurt it out and tell them, eventually, I'm going to want custody of my son. You know, we need to let them know, I'm going to want my son, man. You know, and see that they finish high school. See that their lives turn out to groom them. We can't keep running around with a bunch of boys that's stuck in their feelings all the time, gentlemen. We have to get our sons, and we have to start fighting in the courts, and we have to start fighting with our vote. And we need to stay away from the crazy mindset. Oh, voting ain't gonna do no good. Yes, it will. You vote against them. They ain't necessarily, no, we need to vote our interests and stop being mean mugged into voting for people that by our women, and people that actually they don't mean us no good. We need to start, we need to start doing better than that. We need to show our sons that we can fight back too. So, we need to teach them how to fight back. You know, we really do. We have to start pushing for custody. We got to start standing up for our sons. Therefore, we stand up for our sons. We stand up for our communities. Things will get better. And the last story, but not least, you know, we have to think about these churches. You know, the churches. We have to think about this. We're talking about, these are hyena dens. I call it the hyena den. Because all they do up in there is break God's law. They do break God's law. And they'll try to cover it up with the word, with his word. Let me tell you how they break the law. They know that a lot of women, they go in there forsaking it. They're wedding vows with the husbands, coming in there dressed all provocative, saying whatever they want, twerking in church, you know, and then they want everybody to still look at them with well-wished eyeballs. We're paying you some attention. No, it just doesn't work like that, because man answers to God. Man answer to God. Man answer to Jesus Christ. And then they like to look at men such as like myself, like we don't know what the hell we're talking about. Forget you, man. You know, because I'm not going down with you. If anything, don't let me tell it, because a whole lot of you wouldn't make it. Churches break God's law all the time. Too much for my blood. You know, a lot of the things that they do is not right. But we have to start doing more for our sons. We know us as men. We get a hold of our sons, we're going to do a hell of a lot better job. You know, we can do it. We can even do it with the girls. Don't turn them away. Our girls want to come, take them too. But our primary is our boys. We don't have a whole lot to say with the girls unless the girls want to come. But the boys, that is a whole different ballgame. And we must start fighting for them. Not only in the courts, fight for them with our vote, and fight and start putting up protest signs if we have to. We need to fight for our sons. Just think about this here, gentlemen. 52% of our sons drop out of school. That is unacceptable. We need to cut that number in half over the next 5 years. I'm fixing to lay the challenge. Cut that number in half by 5 years or less. We need these young men to start graduating high school. And we need to help them become more savvy in life. Sure do. We need custody of our sons. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm fixing to bring this video session to a close. I thank you for everybody for coming. And, you know, we just want it all to turn out well. And we just want the best for our sons. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the end of my video session, teaching boys while they're young. Bringing this video session to a close. We love you, ladies and gentlemen. See this video, hit that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Smash it up. And we love y'all, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, peace out.